Well, hello folks, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome back to the channel. And one of the things that I try to do on this channel is provide educational information, information that you can use to enlighten yourself and to broaden your knowledge on topics of the parabiblical and, like in this case, the paranormal. So I want to talk to you today about mirrors and the spiritual, the haunting, the paranormal type of activity that has been associated with mirrors. I believe this is going to help someone, more than one someone possibly. And speaking of helping someone, I received a nice donation, and I immediately turned around and purchased one of the pieces of equipment that I wanted to use to be able to facilitate the spiritual evangelism work. And it was actually a combination of two gifts, and with those two gifts, and you two know who you are, and I appreciate you, and I keep forgetting to ask if it's alright to use your names. I guess it's really not that important, but I was able to purchase that piece of equipment, so we'll be putting that to use right away. And that's what we do. As soon as we get the any type of funding, we put it right to work in the work. So we're not using it to live on. I take care of that myself, and we will use it to get equipment, and we will use it to fund our work as we go forth. And you know, it might be time to just be like old-fashioned the Christ Yeshua style, just out there rocking and rolling. I don't have 12 disciples to go with me, but it might be cool to get one or two, huh? Well, maybe at least one, and have some fun and go out and see. I really want to go to the incredible site, show them to you, be out and helping people and showing you what it's like to be like that one video, a Simbad ass. And yeah, that's a very interesting technology. If you didn't see that, that's the doctor that thinks he can prevent alien abductions, and we'll link that in the box below. But we want to talk right now about mirrors. And you know, mirrors are such a part of our lives, but yet all of us, I think, even those that have never had any spiritual or paranormal worries with mirrors, still kind of have that, you know, there's just something a little bit weird. Of course, the mirror on the wall. And ever since humans have been able to see their reflection, there's been weird feelings regards mirrors. Now, many people feel that mirrors have supernatural qualities. Many people believe that mirrors can be portals to the spirit realm and other dimensions. You know, I think of the what is that, the Bloody Mary thing that's to be done, you know, in front of a mirror. And a lot of people will use a mirror to do scrying, which basically is like your crystal ball or your fire scrying, or, you know, water scrying. I have done that. It can be effective at times. And of course, you have to have your good intention. You have to be a sim badass if you're going to be employing some of these techniques. So that might be some of what we're here to share with today, is that you have to remember that if you employ techniques, you have to be able to be of enough power and enough intention that you don't get yourself in a pickle. And somebody asked, well, why is he wearing this shirt with soldiers on it and stuff? Well, my uncle was a Army Ranger and retired as a major. He was in Vietnam, and I got this shirt the day after his funeral because it reminded me of him, and every now and then I wear it. So that's the story about the shirt. Here's some of the paranormal beliefs about mirrors: that mirrors have the ability to suck out people's souls. Back until the recent history, many times mirrors were removed from people's rooms when they were sick or where they were dying. They didn't feel that the people had enough energy or enough power to be able to fight off that negative power of a mirror. Up until, again, recently, people were warned not to look into mirrors at night or candlelight, because you might see ghosts, you might see demons, you might even see your own death, because they believe that mirrors are, or can be, viewpoints, at the very least, into another world. And you've seen this on movies. When people died in rooms, the mirrors were covered or turned to face the wall. That way, the person's spirit, when they left, didn't get sucked into the mirror. And a lot of people with, it's even worries about a vampire. And, of course, from most vampire lore, you cannot see a vampire in the mirror. Or from the excellent The Strain series that I just watched, their reflection would vibrate. So I thought that was a very excellent take on the vampire legend with The Strain, which was a great allegory, I think, too, for a lot of things that's going on in the world. And in order to prevent mirrors from being used as a portal by supernatural entities, they recommend that mirrors be frequently moved to different areas of the room. And I think most of the time these days, most of our mirrors are stationary. They're on doors, they're on walls. And that's an interesting thought, to move them around the structure. And this thought just came to me. I'll share it just for what it's worth. Just to wonder, if you have a mirror on a wall that is an outside wall of a structure, does it create a opening for entities? Just throwing that out there because it came to my mind. Doesn't mean anything. It just means that something came to my mind. Mirrors with a solid backing placed in the same position for a long time are thought to be more likely to become spiritual portals. That's interesting. And one thing that makes me wonder is a lot of the old mirrors silver is what was the backing that made them reflective, and silver is very much typically a protective metal. So I would think if you have a mirror that is made with silver, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Anyone that has any experience about mirrors with silver being used for non-positive ways, or facilitating non-positive results, I'd like to know that, because right now I would sit here and say no way that a silver mirror could be used for any spiritual chicanery, because the essence of the spirit of the silver is very, very helpful. And here's, looking at this lady, she sees somebody else with her in the mirror. A lot of people have trouble with mirrors. Some of the haunted mirrors or problems are when you buy an old mirror and bring it in from somewhere else. And this is, I don't want to look for a demon behind every bush, and I don't want to be scaring people for no reason. But if you buy a mirror at a garage sale, or if you buy it at an estate sale, or if it's a mirror, that comes from, even if you bring it home from Target or Walmart, right? Woo! You might want to, do a little sage, do a little, just make sure you cleanse that mirror and make sure there's nothing piggybacking with you. Because trust me, there's things in Walmart that you don't want in your house. Oh, good Lord. This is interesting too to me. If you move into a house that has mirrors left by the previous occupants, you might want to consider, I'm just thinking, I just bought this place and there was a mirror left here, but I did do a lot of saging and whatnot, so I haven't had any issues with it. But worth thinking about it. And look at this, I just noticed this. On Halloween, if you look into the glass, your future husband's face will appear in the glass. Huh. So, ladies and even gentlemen, if you're of that persuasion, when Halloween comes, look in the mirror, and your husband's face will come to pass. That's kind of interesting. And here's what I was just talking about. People using paranormal, using mirrors for scrying or divination, which is what scrying is. If they're not taking the right precautions, or they're not doing the cleansing, then you could open some type of a portal or an opening. So it'd be nice, ideally they say, to cover it up, put it in a safe place. Ouija boards used in conjunction with mirrors, or where they can be seen in a mirror, probably not the best idea. People having experiences of haunted mirrors in hotels. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Because, most of your mirrors are going to have hotels. It's not a bad idea to do a little clearing when you go to a hotel, is it? Not at all. Great, great idea. Huh. So a lot of paranormal things involved with mirrors. See a lot of things in mirrors. People believe that they see things, but of course that can be just scary. This is one I haven't experienced. Let me think. I guess maybe I have. Seeing shadow people in proximity to mirrors. The last shadow person I saw was very close in proximity to mirrors. That's very interesting. Shadow people standing near mirrors. Or entering or leaving them. I didn't see where that one exited because I just rolled over and went back to sleep. I wasn't that interested in him. But yeah, next time if I see one, I'll watch and see if they leave from a mirror. But he was right by some quite large mirrors, so that's very interesting. I've never seen or heard of mists, more than one mist coming into or out of mirrors, coalescing into usually humanoid type shapes. And of course faces, that's the thing people will most see in faces, the most time they're human, known to the witnesses. But you got to remember, tricks of light and your mind, and I can never, Wes Forsyth always and I are talking about this, and I can never remember what the technical term was. Your brain always wants to make something out of something, something recognizable. So there's that thing that makes you want to recognize something when that might just be a smudge. I think one of these just had like a smudge on it. Oh, look at that! It's an old, piratey looking guy with a mustache and a goatee, and he's got a bandana tied around, and it's falling over the side of his face, and there's a parrot on his shoulder. You know, that kind of a thing. When that's really obviously not what that is. A lot of the lore around mirrors is that they have the reputation for being portals. You know, what is a portal? A portal is basically an opening, an entry point or an exit point between energies or between dimensions, really between dimensions for energies. And that portals are just that. And sometimes they're caught, you know, on photographs. People that have seen portals say they look like whirlwinds or alternatively elongated swirling shapes. I've never seen a portal, but John the Revelator in the book of Revelation, and we talked about this on the hidden secrets of the New Jerusalem, he clearly saw a portal in the skies when he was shown what the rat bastard, the Lord, was going to be doing. So very, very interesting. They claim that negative spirits come in through portals. And of course the astral layer is closest to our physical plane, and that when a window opens up, it's likely for something negative to come through. Sometimes they're two-way. If there are portals, there are claimed to be a lot of paranormal activity around portals. I've seen that. Many believe that only spiritual beings can use portals, but some also believe aliens from other dimensions could do so. And that reminds me again of our Hubbard or Parsons and Hubbard video we just did about L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons opening a portal, which I'm convinced, and there's at least good circumstantial evidence to suggest that they opened a portal that, and it was just a few months before Roswell, and that's kind of where this whole thing started. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Very interesting stuff. Gives us a lot to think about. It gives us a lot of ideas. And it's good to know that, you know, if you do use mirrors, you might want to go ahead and make sure you're clearing them, you're cleansing them. If you buy mirrors and bring them home from any place outside the home, go ahead and cleanse them. If you move into a place that has mirrors, go ahead and cleanse them. And you never know, if you get, next time you walk past a mirror, ha. And if you'd like, let's do this little survey. Do you find mirrors unsettling and scary? Yes, I find most mirrors creepy. Sometimes it depends upon what the mirror looks like. No, mirrors don't bother me at all. Let's see if this will work. I would put no. They don't bother me at all. Let's vote. And look at the results. Very interesting. 37% of the respondents of 1,216 people that have voted, 37% say yeah, creepy. 33% sometimes, 30% no. So 2/3 of you. That's interesting. 2/3 of you people, 2/3 of y'all, believe that mirrors are creepy as hell. 71% of people in this very unscientific poll either find mirrors creepy or somewhat creepy. That's a little creepy to me, just that they think it's creepy. Now that's interesting. Very, very interesting. And I did have, just to follow up on our show that I did earlier today about mimic ghosts. I received a very, very interesting email, and I won't say who it was from because this is pretty personal stuff, but these people had lost a dog. You know, the dog died. They didn't lose the dog. It's not like, you know, they were on vacation and it ran off, but the dog died. And it was a long cherished pet. You know, it'd been with them for a long time. I don't know how long dogs live. I never had a dog. I'm a cat guy. Cats, you know, 20 years. I think dogs 12, 13, something like that. And feel free to enlighten me. But they lost this dog. The dog died. And the dog had particular habits like running around the bed, on the top of the bed, snuggling up to them while they slept. Its toenails on the floor made a peculiar sound. And they said after about 15 years, they noticed that they started sensing, they couldn't really see anything corporeal, but they would sense and hear and watch the dog running around the bed. You know, the little marks that it would make from running and running and running. And they would feel it snuggled up to them at night. And it even got to the point when they went to one of their relatives' house, they heard the dog coming in with them on the floor. So this dog, this dog, and I know some saying, oh, well, that wasn't really the dog, it was a mimic spirit. Well, whether it was the dog, and we talked about, you know, spirits staying around, could have been the dog. I've got no problem believing it was the dog. And since it was wholly positive and there was no nefarious nature whatsoever, I would say no, it's not a mimic spirit. It was really the dog. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but I thought that was very, very interesting. And I also got some response to, you know, I did the video where we talked about, should you call back to the spirit, should you answer the spirit, and be careful around, you know, staircases and places where you could fall or have things fall down and hit you. And I did receive confirmation from someone that said, oh yes, you're right. We did, both this person and their significant other were pushed down and did have things fall off and hit them. So again, if you've got these mimic spirits calling out your name, you know, I know we had the one lady saying, oh, well, just ask. Well, I wouldn't just ask. I would hew them. I would sage them. I would get them the heck out of Dodge. And certainly, if you've got them and you feel like you got to respond to them for some reason, be very careful and, you know, don't put yourself in a place of potential danger. Specifically, you know, where you could fall down, be pushed down a staircase, or I don't know why I keep saying off of a porch. Maybe there's somebody that's dealing with that. And if that's you, let me know. Send me a little note. So there you have it. Mirrors and the paranormal. I think that was interesting and educational. And it was also potentially helpful, I think, to people. So, very interesting. I myself never had any issue with mirrors. Never had any issue with mimics. But we're all here to help each other out, aren't we? Very interesting stuff. Very helpful stuff. and very, sorry, interesting stuff. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. This has been another opportunity to help you unwind your mind and unindoctrinate yourself.